Jeez, we are having such bad luck. I snapped that prop in the back now.
Grass. Oh, we lost the battery.
The suspicion was if we turned to 2-blade props, we'll just let the motors take the abuse.
And the co-pilots, the flight crew, they plan for each of these contingencies, all kinds of emergency landings year-round. They have biennial flight reviews, and they're prepared for every possible contingency.
They're still not pointing in the right direction.
Except for a broken arm. Hold on. This requires documentation. I can't even be mad because I hate this frame. Hold on, honey. I'm scared to see it. Let's do it slowly. I buried that whole motor in there? And the prop? Ah, prop's still good. Nice.
Oh, God.
All right, we salvaged at least one set of props today in this whole freaking trip.
Broke the screen, though.
All right, well. I guess we could take over from here. So that's that, boys. That's how the day of practice ends. But I'll tell you, I'm honestly sick of this frame. I really don't like it.
Well, rip.
But I will say the props held up. My thought was if I change the two blades, the motors will take the Bruce. So they were taking it. I don't know, I just buried that motor all the way down in the ground. Addresses, but, damn, I just did. Not gonna show any addresses, but my package arrived. Woo! Detroit multi-rotors, boy. Alright, it's starting to look sweet in here, boys, immediately. Nice. Sick looking frame. Can't pull this out of the bag. Oh, there she is, boys. Beautiful custom paint work and everything. Got your Detroit D on there. Lightning bolt. There's the sweet sticker. Some badass skids. Printed for me by fpdrew himself. And the arms for this. Nice, thick, stout arms. Real robust. These are nice and thick. Super pumped. Super pumped. Thanks, fpdrew. Alright, so we're coming to you from the future. I know that the ending of this was not as climactic as you probably imagined, but you probably saw immediately when that thing didn't roll as a traditional FPV crash looks like when it rolls on the ground. You probably knew I stuck that landing, and I stuck it but good. So we buried that arm, we buried that motor, it broke the arm. And there were some clips throughout this three-part story of different things I broke and things that happened with this frame. Like last week prior to this, I ended up snapping the standoffs, and I didn't even notice I snapped them that day because it flew fine for the rest of the day. When I got home, I went to plug in I took all my props off and I went to plug in the USB port, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And it, like, I went to push it in and it pushed across the quad inside. I was like, no. So, although you might think, yeah, it's just an arm, you can move on from that. I mean, I'll still have the frame, and maybe at some point I will order a new arm from Armatan, but as far as I'm concerned, I didn't like the characteristics, I didn't like the way it flew, I struggled to get a good tune on it that I was happy with. It doesn't, you know, the crazy thing is, damn it, with the TrueX design, when your props, you know, you've got a little bit more separation. I can't do both at the same time. A little bit more separation. So basically, like, you know, in between your props, this is a fucking mess. In between your props, you've got more gap. So when you go forward, you can go forward at a lower angle and get forward progression. And I feel like with the Rooster, once these props, this is a fucking disaster of video, I can tell you that much. Fucking stupid, no flash. I'm sitting in my blanket because I am fucking freezing and I don't care. Alright, so, as you can see, when you look directly down above this, you get that extra spacing in between your motors. And as you can see, there is no gap. So now, when you want to progress forward, so you see your flat, there's basically no gap between those props from the flat angle. There's my fucking flash. Alright, you hold it straight. Hold her straight. And as you start to tilt forward, you'll gain that separation in there. But what the problem is in order for this thing to really get a gap that you could see in between those two props that looks like substantial, you gotta have a good gap. and you gotta have a good angle put on this thing. You know, quite a bit of angle till you could really see the gap between those props prominently. So from here, you're getting nothing. Now you're gonna start to get nice, smooth forward movement, maybe a little bit further, right about here. With the Truex design, you know, much slighter movements seem to get it moving forward. And it could just be me. I am a noob, so I don't know, but I was having more difficulty with doing yaw type movements with this quad. It didn't want to make nice flat yaw spins. It just didn't want to do it. It could have been my tune, but I think it also does have to do with the frame and that I wasn't used to this frame. And I didn't get the chance to become used to it. It just didn't have a chance. Tis what it is. R.I.P. Rooster. R.I.P.